Alright, Wee Man Rambo here. As you can see, doing a Spires of Ascension run. We're going to fast forward through most of the trash, and I'll walk you through the boss fights as they happen. Some of these guys you're going to want to throw interrupts on, like that big Goliath that you saw there a couple seconds ago. So these guys are gonna do cast timers, and they're gonna lay a beat down on your tank. So obviously, as you get into the plus keys, you're gonna want to throw interrupts at that guy. All right, first fight here. Basically, a survival hunter with a pet. Now, as you can see, they got that stream. That is a life link. These two take damage in equal proportion. Everything is split equally. There's going to be kind of a second phase where Kintara goes up into the air, and at that point in time, your best bet is to switch targeting onto the pet. So the pet is casting out those black shards. So now Kintara's up in the air. We're going to retarget onto the pet, which is still going to damage the boss. Like I said, they're health linked. And I believe we went through this rotation twice. So pretty straightforward fight. Don't get hit by that stuff. She's gonna target a random player in the group, and you can see in the background there's a kind of like her little spear back there. She's gonna target a player in the group, and they're gonna know that they got targeted. You want to stay out of that black zone. Bada boom, boss is down. Alright, it's about to speed up here, but this next room, everything in this room you're going to want to keep your distance from. As you can see, I only took the first few guys there at melee. Otherwise, these guys are going to jump back if you get close to them. So for the most part, you'll notice that I'm keeping my distance so we can keep them away from that final pull there. Pulling everything in that room can get pretty ugly pretty fast because everybody in this room disengages. So just kind of keep your distance, tank. If you have a way to keep aggro at a distance, do it. If you have a way to pull them in, do that. Otherwise, just throw out your taunts as best you can. So again, we're going to run through a lot more of the same ads, the Inquisitors, all that jazz. Invisible pack here. So we're redoing this video without the musical overlay. There's going to be a lot of heat coming down on that stuff. So this is a huge there's a lot of trash between the first and the second boss. After that, it gets significantly shorter. Alright, so behind this pack, you're going to see the boss walking around. This pack takes us a minute. Obviously, this Mythic run was kind of... the entire group's a pug, so it kind of just however it happened. Alright. This guy has his own set of fun mechanics. There's going to be a lot more of those black shards. He actually drops... almost like activation pylons. It's like a central point for them to start spawning, and he will drop that point where he's standing, and then when he moves, they'll continue to spawn from there. I believe you can have 2 or 3 of these points going at a time. As you saw there, he re-rolled his aggro table, so I had to regain threat as the tank. Obviously, you saw DBM. DBM will let you identify that for you. You can see that black shroud that's spawning the black shards. So he's got 2 of them up right now. All right, keeps going. Boom, now we got 3. And we're done. So not terribly hard. Mostly, it's mostly going to keep you on the move. Now we're going to go up a level. Boom. Don't forget to turn after that boss. If you go straight, you're going to go back into the circle that leads you back to the first boss. So make sure that you turn and actually exit off the right, you take the right little Birdman, which is actually off to the left of the fight zone from when we entered. You can go either way around that circle. I went to the left side because that's just the way I picked. From the first to the second boss makes a complete circle of platforms, so you can go either way. You are going to want to clear out enough space, so make sure you clear out the front guys. If you need to, clear out these guys that you're going to see kind of off to the left, up in front of the circular pit there in the middle. Just make sure you get a good chunk of space, because this next boss is going to drop a bunch of stuff on the ground. I didn't know it at the time because I hadn't fought him before, but I figured it was a good idea to clear stuff out anyways, just in case. So I'm gonna identify some mechanics here that we didn't do properly, but that you might want to consider doing. Alright, so on the pole, nothing special. You see the DBM doing its magic there. First one, he's going to target a player. He gets a circle around him. Boom. Take that out of the group so that you don't get AoE damage. Okay. Everybody gets their own swirly. Those stay on the ground. They stay on the ground for 2 or 3 rotations. We'll see here. So when you see that mechanic coming, especially in the higher ones, I would say do your best to stack that, because as you can see, we're eating up a lot of fight space here. Do your best to stack that to save fight space, so that you're not using blowing cooldowns just to move. So those are all the that's pretty much everything he's got. He's got one more coming up here. In a hot second, where he's actually going to, all those standing orbs are going to disappear. So he's recharging, which means he's going to grab each one of those that he dropped on the ground, and he's going to pull them back in. So we're gonna soak those. And yeah, you're going to take a fair amount of damage. This is a great time to use those cooldowns. Or if you have a certain class that gets a really good bubble, go for it. Hopefully you can get him down the first cycle. Maybe you can even get him down before he pops Recharge Anima. That was my Ret Legendary for AoE. Pretty badass, I believe. I don't know. I don't play Ret. I've actually switched since this video to a Fury Warrior that I'm having a lot of fun with. So my future videos, you'll see me as a DPS, as a Fury Warrior, unless I'm playing an off spec for my guild as a prot warrior. You shouldn't see too many more videos as a paladin. Not that it's a bad class. It's actually very easy to play this expansion. They kind of prot pallies are super buffed up right now, and in that respect, it just kind of got boring. All right, so we're still in fast mode, and the reason is that this first pull is going to be a fail. So we left it in fast mode. You saw me jumping around. The boss is going to initiate the winds. First things first, you're going to want to take the boss. I didn't do this in the first one. If you saw that blue circle, you need to get into that. Otherwise, people are just going to start dying, like you saw with that priest. The winds start, you grab your blue orbs, you run them into the spear over here, while avoiding the black circles, because they're going to do a nice chunk of damage to you. The wind does damage on its own, so the more things you hit, the faster you're going to die. If you got some mobile classes, that's a great time to use them. Especially if you got a couple of warriors. You can grab an orb, heroic leap, run back out, grab another orb, and if you have like your healer standing, I would say like on the good side of that spear, that spear holder there, you can intervene back to your healer and save a lot of time there. And actually keep your healer from having to heal themselves if you got two warriors, like a tank and a DPS, or just a tank or a DPS, one or the other. Soaking some of that damage off the healer so that they can spend a little bit more time healing. Alright, so now we're in the real fight. As you noticed, that first pull, I tanked the boss right next to the Archon, because that's where that blue bubble is going to... that blue shield is going to proc next to the Archon, so you're going to want to tank the boss next to the Archon for the entire fight. Obviously, right now you're not tanking anything, so we're not counting that. Everybody got their orbs in. This guy grabs the spear. He takes a little bit of time, yes, but you want to make sure that you get it on the first try. If you're on Mythic or higher and you miss that first spear, there's a good chance you don't make it to the second one, unless you have a bomb-ass healer. Alright, so now we're back. She's on the ground. We're tanking this right in front of the Archon again. You notice she runs out. I'm not going to follow her. I'm going to pull her back to me, because the Archon is popping her shield right there on the ground, and I need my entire group to be right here so we don't lose anybody, like the healer. The rest of this fight gets very interesting. This is where I say pallies are extremely OP. So, I'm going to be moving around. I haven't lost too much, but as you can see, I am losing health consistently just due to the winds. And this dude is taking his sweet time with that spear. Now he gets it. And now it's game on to just stay alive. Ret Pally pops lay on hands. That's only going to last him so long. Priest is doing the priest thing. I'm heading for the circle, but we don't make it there, and the boss goes down. So I mean, it's a rinse and repeat, same steps over and over. It's really a two-phase fight: ground phase, air phase. Just make sure that you don't hang out there with the spear forever. Get up there, take your shot. Just make sure you